Something extraordinary is happening right now, and most people walk past it every single day without noticing. You wake up frustrated, and suddenly everyone around you seems irritating. You feel grateful, and strangers start smiling at you for no reason. You think this is coincidence? This isn't coincidence. This is correspondence. Think about the last time you were genuinely happy. I mean really happy, from the inside out. What happened around you that day? Did good things seem to flow your way? Did conversations go smoother? Did even traffic lights seem to cooperate with you? Now think about a day when you were stressed, angry, or fearful. How did the world respond to you then? The world isn't separate from you. It never was. What you see out there is always a reflection of what's happening in here. This isn't mystical thinking. This is how reality actually works. Your inner state broadcasts itself constantly, like a radio station that never goes off the air, and the world tunes into your frequency perfectly every time. When you're broadcasting fear, you get situations that confirm your fears. When you're broadcasting love, love comes back to you in ways that seem magical. But here's what nobody tells you about this mirror. It's not just reflecting your conscious thoughts. It's reflecting everything that's going on inside you, including the stuff you don't even realize is there. Those buried beliefs about what you deserve, those old stories you tell yourself about how life works, those deep patterns you inherited without even choosing them. Watch a person who believes they're unlucky. Really watch them. Notice how they walk into rooms, how they approach situations, how they speak to people. They're unconsciously creating the very experiences that prove their belief right. The mirror is working perfectly. It's showing them exactly what they expect to see. Now watch someone who truly believes good things come their way. Not the fake positive thinking kind of belief, but the deep, quiet knowing that life is fundamentally on their side. See how different their world looks? Same planet, completely different reality. This is why some people seem to live charmed lives while others constantly struggle. It's not luck. It's not privilege, though those things exist. It's that they're broadcasting different signals and getting back exactly what matches. The moment you really understand this, not just intellectually, but in your bones, everything changes. Because suddenly you realize you're not a victim of circumstances. You're the one creating the circumstances by what you're putting out there. Every person who treats you badly is showing you something about how you see yourself. Every opportunity that passes you by is reflecting some belief you have about what's possible for you. Every blessing that shows up is confirming the good you hold inside. The mirror never lies. It can't lie. It's showing you exactly what you're putting into it, even when you don't want to see it. Most people spend their whole lives trying to change what's in the mirror, rearranging their external circumstances, fighting with other people, forcing situations to be different. But you can't change a reflection by fighting with the mirror. You change it by changing what you're putting in front of it. This is the secret hiding in plain sight. This is why the same techniques work differently for different people. This is why positive thinking doesn't work unless it goes deep enough to change what's actually broadcasting from inside you. Your reality is always corresponding to your inner world. Always. When you change what's happening inside, the outside has no choice but to shift. It's not a sometimes thing. It's not a maybe thing. It's the most reliable law in existence. You start paying attention to this mirror, and suddenly the world becomes a completely different place. What you used to call coincidences start revealing themselves as something much more interesting. Conversations between you and reality itself. Last week, you were thinking about an old friend you hadn't spoken to in years. 3 days later, they call you out of nowhere. You needed a specific piece of information for a project, and the exact book falls off a shelf in front of you at the bookstore. You're wrestling with a difficult decision, and a stranger on the bus starts talking about the exact same situation. This isn't the universe being mysterious. This is correspondence working so precisely that it looks like magic. Think about it this way. If your inner state is constantly broadcasting and the world is constantly responding, then of course you're going to start noticing the responses. The difference is that now you're awake to the conversation that was always happening. When you're internally ready for change, opportunities for change show up. When you're internally stuck, you keep running into the same walls. When you're internally grateful, more things to be grateful for appear. The mirror is that accurate, but here's where it gets really interesting. The mirror doesn't just reflect your current state. It reflects where you're headed. It picks up on changes in your inner world before your conscious mind even notices them. You start feeling different about yourself, more confident, more worthy, and suddenly people begin treating you differently. Not because you told them to, but because you're broadcasting a different signal. Your posture changes slightly. Your voice carries different energy. Your eyes hold a different light. People respond to what you're putting out there before you even realize you're putting it out there. This is why transformation can feel like it happens overnight. Even when you've been working on yourself for months, the inner shift reaches a tipping point, and then the outer world catches up all at once. What looked impossible yesterday suddenly becomes inevitable today. Pay attention to the patterns. When you're in flow, when you're aligned with who you really are, notice how doors open. Notice how the right people show up at the right time. Notice how solutions appear just when you need them. This isn't luck. This is you broadcasting from your authentic self and reality responding in kind. When you're forcing things, when you're trying to be someone you're not, or pushing for outcomes that don't match your inner truth, notice how everything becomes difficult, how people resist you, how simple things become complicated. The mirror is showing you the mismatch between what you're trying to create and what you actually believe is possible. Technical moment. If what you're hearing right now resonates with you, hit subscribe. This shows that the information is valuable. The signs are always there, but you have to learn to read them. When the same theme keeps showing up in different areas of your life, that's the mirror showing you something important. When you keep having the same type of challenging conversation with different people, that's not about them. That's about something in you that needs attention. When solutions start appearing everywhere you look, that's the mirror reflecting your inner readiness to move forward. When inspiration hits you from multiple directions, that's correspondence letting you know you're on the right track. Most people dismiss these patterns as random events, but once you understand how the mirror works, you realize there are no random events. There are only reflections of what's happening inside you that you haven't recognized yet. The world becomes your teacher, your guide, your feedback loop. Every interaction, every opportunity, every obstacle is showing you something about your inner landscape. Reality stops being something that happens to you and becomes something you're actively co-creating with every breath. This is when life stops feeling like a struggle and starts feeling like a dance. Now comes the part that changes everything. Learning to deliberately tune the radio station that is you. Because once you know the mirror is always working, the question becomes, what do you want it to reflect back? This isn't about positive thinking or pretending everything is fine when it's not. This is about understanding that you have control over the signal you're broadcasting, and therefore control over what comes back to you. Your inner state isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you can consciously shift. But most people try to change it from the outside in. They think if they get the right job, the right relationship, the right circumstances, then they'll feel good inside. That's backwards. The mirror doesn't work that way. You have to change the frequency first. Then the outside world has no choice but to match it. Here's how this actually works in practice. Let's say you want more respect in your life. Instead of trying to force people to respect you, You start by genuinely respecting yourself. Not fake self-respect where you tell yourself you're amazing while secretly believing you're not. Real respect, the kind that shows up in how you treat your own time, your own commitments, your own boundaries. When you truly respect yourself, something shifts in how you carry yourself. Something changes in how you speak, how you make decisions, how you show up in the world. People feel this shift before you even say a word. They start responding to the new frequency you're broadcasting. Respect starts flowing back to you naturally. Or maybe you want more abundance. Instead of trying to grab opportunities or manipulate circumstances, you start by cultivating a genuine sense of abundance inside yourself. You notice what you already have. You appreciate the resources around you. You stop operating from scarcity and fear. When you're truly abundant inside, you start making different choices. You spot opportunities that were always there, but invisible to your scarcity-focused mind. People want to share with you because abundance attracts abundance. The key is that the inner shift has to be real. The mirror can't be fooled by surface-level changes or wishful thinking. It reflects what's actually there, not what you're pretending is there. This is why affirmations don't work for most people. They're trying to program new beliefs on top of old ones without actually changing what they believe deep down. It's like trying to tune a radio to a new station while the old station is still playing loudly in the background. The mirror reflects the whole signal, not just the part you want it to see. Real frequency shifting happens when you address what's creating the old signal in the first place. Those old stories about yourself, those inherited beliefs about how life works, those patterns you learned so early you don't even remember learning them. When you heal an old wound that's been broadcasting fear, suddenly fearful situations stop showing up in your life. When you release a belief that you don't deserve good things start appearing everywhere. When you stop seeing yourself as a victim, you stop attracting situations that victimize you. The beautiful thing is that reality is incredibly responsive. The moment you make a genuine inner shift, the outer world starts shifting to match. Sometimes it happens so fast it takes your breath away. You change how you see yourself, and within days, people are treating you completely differently. You don't have to wait years to see results. You don't have to earn your way to a better life. You just have to become the person who naturally experiences the life you want. The mirror will take care of the rest. But here's what nobody warns you about. When you start consciously working with correspondence, your life might get temporarily messier before it gets better. Old patterns surface to be cleared. relationships that don't match your new frequency might fall away. Situations that were held in place by your old beliefs might dissolve. This isn't something going wrong. This is the mirror clearing out the old reflections to make room for the new ones. Trust the process. Keep broadcasting from your authentic self. Let reality reorganize itself around who you're becoming. The frequency you choose today determines the world you experience tomorrow. Choose consciously. When correspondence stops being a concept and becomes the way you see everything, life transforms in ways you never imagined possible. You're no longer fighting reality. You're dancing with it. You're no longer trying to force outcomes. You're aligning with what wants to emerge through you. Every morning, you wake up knowing that the day ahead will perfectly match what you're bringing to it. Not in some mystical way, but in the most practical way possible. Your energy, your expectations, your beliefs about what's possible, all of this gets reflected back to you with stunning accuracy. You start making decisions differently. Instead of asking, "What should I do?" you ask, "What kind of person do I need to become for this to unfold naturally?" Instead of trying to control circumstances, you focus on becoming internally aligned with what you want to experience. Relationships become completely different. You stop trying to change people and start noticing what they're reflecting about you. That person who always criticizes you, they're showing you the inner critic you haven't made peace with yet. That friend who's always supportive, they're mirroring the self-love you've been cultivating. Every interaction becomes information about your inner world. You realize that all your relationships have been assignments, opportunities to see yourself more clearly and heal what needs healing. When you change how you relate to yourself, how others relate to you shifts automatically. You don't have to convince anyone of anything. They respond to the frequency you're broadcasting before words are even spoken. Work becomes an expression of who you are rather than something you do to survive. When you're internally aligned with your purpose, opportunities flow naturally. The right projects find you. The right collaborations emerge. Money follows passion because passion is authentic, and authenticity always gets reflected back. Problems don't disappear, but your relationship with them completely transforms. Instead of seeing obstacles as enemies, you recognize them as the mirror showing you where you still have room to grow. Every challenge becomes a chance to evolve, to broadcast from a higher frequency, to demonstrate a new level of mastery over your inner world. You start trusting life in a way that seems impossible to people who don't understand correspondence. Not blind trust, but informed trust. Trust based on direct experience of how reality actually works. You know that if you align yourself properly, what's meant for you will come. You know that if something doesn't work out, it's because something better is on its way. The anxiety about the future dissolves because you understand that you're creating the future with every internal choice you make right now. The regret about the past dissolves because you see that everything that happened was perfectly designed to bring you to this moment of understanding. You become incredibly selective about what you allow into your inner world because you know it will all be reflected back to you. Negative media, toxic conversations, fear-based thinking. You avoid these not because you're afraid of them, but because you don't want to broadcast those frequencies and receive them back. Instead, you surround yourself with beauty, wisdom, love, possibility. You fill your mind with ideas that inspire you. You spend time with people who see the best in you. You create an internal environment that generates the kind of external world you actually want to live in. This is what mastery looks like. Not controlling what happens to you, but consciously choosing what you put into the mirror of reality. Living with the deep knowing that your inner world and your outer world are one seamless whole. Most people spend their entire lives trying to fix their circumstances without realizing they're the ones creating them. But once you understand correspondence, you realize you've had the power all along. You were just looking in the wrong direction. The world has been waiting for you to remember who you really are. The mirror has been perfectly reflecting your confusion, your fear, your doubt, not to punish you, but to help you see what needed to change. Now it's ready to reflect your clarity, your courage, your truth. Everything changes when you change what you're putting into the mirror. If this video has shifted something in you, write in the comments, "I am the mirror." Write it as your promise to yourself and to reality. Nobody